Hello, welcome to the first of what I hope to be a series of guitar tutorials on various different songs. Each lesson I'm going to hopefully introduce more and more different techniques and styles of playing. So you'll be able to adopt those different tricks and incorporate it into your playing, which will be really great. So we'll have great fun learning different stuff. And if you're just here to learn this song and you couldn't care less about my other lessons, and that's great too. You'll hopefully have a really great time. So the song we're going to learn today is the song Showbiz by Muse. Little bit of information about the song. It was on their very first album called Showbiz back in 1999. Not one of the band's most well-known songs, I wouldn't say. It's not on that list of, all the Muse songs that first comes to your head, but it's a really great song. I love this song. And hopefully you're going to have a great time learning to play it. So without any more talk, let's just get on and learn the song. Okay, so the intro then, we're going to need a clean tone on our guitar. And the actual lead guitar doesn't start until a bit into the song. And we're only going to need one note for this intro, so it's really easy, simple song. And that note's going to be on the 4th fret of the D string, or the 4th string. Just there, that note. And we're just going to keep picking that. I think it's 16 times in total. And it's when he comes in singing Controlling My Feelings for Too Long. And it's going to sound like this then. Okay, and then there's a little bit of a fill, like a kind of distorted bass fill, I think it is. And then he sings it again, and we just do exactly the same thing. So that happens twice with a little bit of a fill in between, and that's the intro. Really simple, easy intro for you there. Okay, so the verse, this is directly after the intro, and it's when the distorted bass stops playing and he stops singing periodically and starts singing the actual verse. So the first two lines are exactly the same, Controlling My Feelings for Too Long, and it's the same note, that 4th on the D, and again we're just going to pick that 16 times twice, but without a fill, so it's 32 times, just keep picking it while he's singing that. And then he changes the line to forcing our darkest souls to unfold, and it's the same 4th on the D, but we're just going to add another note under it, which is the 5th on the A, so. Okay, and then he sings that line again, and we're going to add another note, which is the 7th on the E. Okay. So then he sings and pushing us into self-destruction, and then it's going to change a bit, keeping our index on that 4th on the D. Then we're going to put our ring on the 5th on the A and our middle on the 5th on the low E. Okay, so and then the last time he sings in the verse, second time singing, pushing us into self-destruction. It's exactly the same as it was second time singing Darkest Souls to Unfold, just with 4th on the D, 5th on the A, 7th on the E. Okay, so in total length, the first verse is going to sound like this. Okay, so the chorus, the first chorus, it's going to be loads of different chord shapes, but we're not strumming it yet, we're playing the different notes within the shape. So I'll show you the shapes first, then I'll show you the picking pattern. Okay, so first shape, we're going to bar the 2nd fret, all of the 2nd fret E to E, with our index finger, okay? And then we're going to put our ring finger on the 4th on the A right there, and then we're going to put our little finger on the 4th on the D. So okay, that's the first shape. Second shape, we're going to put our ring finger on the 4th on the high E, our middle finger on the 3rd on the B, and our index on the 2nd on the G, and we're just going to play those three plus an open D. So. Okay, and then we're going to bar again, but not the full bar on the second. It's still on the second, it's not the full bar, it's just up the first 3 strings. And we're also going to put our little finger down on the 4th on the E, and our ring finger on the 4th on the D. So, and the last shape is barring again on the second, just up to the A, putting our middle on the 3rd of the B, our little finger on the 4th of the G, and our ring finger on the 4th of the D. So, okay, so they're the shapes. Now I'll teach you the picking pattern. If we go to the first shape, we're going to go E, A, D, A, G, D, A, D, E, B, G, B, and then D, G, B, G. Okay, so. Okay, that's the first shape, so I'll play it one more time really slowly so you can play it with me. Okay, second shape, we're going to go D, G, B, G, E, B, G, B, D, G, B, G, E, B, G, E. Okay, so that with the first shape. Okay, so the third shape, it's going to go D, G, B, G, E, B, G, B, D, G, B, G, E, B, G. And then we're going to play E again, but we're going to take our little finger off from the 4th fret, but we're still barring on the 2nd fret, so it'll be 2nd fret. So it'll go. Okay, so from what we've learned so far then, the first 3 shapes of the chorus is going to go. First 3 picking patterns of the shapes of the chorus go. Okay, so then finally, that last shape, we're going to go D, G, B, G, E, B, G, B, D, G, B, G, E, G, B, D. Okay, so those 4 picking patterns that make up the chorus, play them all really slowly, play along with me, okay? So. Okay, and those 4 picking patterns repeat. Play them all. Play the 4 through twice. Okay, and then you've got the chorus. Okay, so the riff happens just after the first chorus and kind of leads into the 2nd verse and carries the 2nd verse. And we're going to need a distorted tone for this, kind of a distorted rocky riff. Okay, so I'll talk you through the riff. We start with our index finger on the 9th fret of the A, and then we're going to put our ring finger down on the 11th fret, and then we're going to move up to the 12th, and then we're going to bend the 12th, and we'll normally play it bending up, and bending down again. So. And then I'm going to go back to the 11th, 9th, 11th, and then we're going to bend that 11th, and then back to the 9th. Okay, so it's 9th, 11th, 9th, 11th, 12th, bend, bend down, 11th, 9th, 11th, bend, 9th, and it's all on the A string, okay, so I'll play it slowly and try and play it with me. Okay, and another thing is, I normally kind of slide into it after the first time when it's going on throughout the verse. So. Okay, and there you have the riff. Okay, so the second chorus. It's the same shapes I showed you for the first, but there's no picking pattern, we're just strumming it. And this is when same chorus when he sings, they make me scream your screams and stuff like that. And so yeah, we're just strumming the shapes. It's going to sound like this. Goes back and repeats again twice, just like the first verse. We're just strumming it 16 times, try and strum it 16 times, mostly downstrokes. You can do a few up like that if you want, you know, it doesn't really matter, there's no strumming pattern as such, as long as you just keep hitting those shapes. And that's the second chorus. Okay, so the third verse is different again, but it's very similar to the second verse, has the same kind of melody. The second verse was and it's very similar to that riff, but it's going to be played on the B string, starting on the 7th on the B, and then up to the 9th, 10th, then that 10th, 9th, 7th, 9th, 7th. Just very, very similar. You know, if you know that second verse, and I say it starts on the 7th, you can probably figure out. But that's it anyway. So. Okay, and I normally kind of slide out of it, so. And then the very last time before the third chorus, we're just going to go with no slide, and that's the third verse. Okay, so before I go on and teach you the solo, I should say that the third chorus is exactly the same as the second chorus. Those shapes I've taught you, and just strumming them just like the second chorus, and the second chorus just happened. And the third chorus, sorry, happens just after the third verse, just before the solo. Okay, so the solo then, the solo itself, the first part of it is going to be tremolo picked. Okay, so this is a start. Instead of just picking the string the once, if I mute the strings, so you see what I'm doing with my right hand, instead of just picking it, we're going to just keep moving it backwards, up and forwards like that, over the string, just to give it that kind of like, you know, constant effect. And actually Muse as a band use this effect a lot. Hopefully I'll do some other Muse tutorials, and you'll find that they do use tremolo picking a lot. And once you're good at tremolo picking, it's a really fun skill to have. So yeah, so the first half of the solo is tremolo pick, the second half isn't, it's just picked normally. So what I'll do is I'll teach you the frets that we're going to go to first, and then I'll show you the tremolo picking over those frets. So I normally start with my index on the 7th, and then my ring on the 9th, little finger on the 10th, slide up to the 12th, and then 14th, 15th, 17th, 18th, and that's where the tremolo picking stops, okay, and it's all on the B string, starting at the 7th, so if I add the tremolo picking to that, okay, so I'll play it slowly first, and I'll play it at the proper speed that it is on the song. So it's gonna go. Okay, and full speed's gonna. Okay, and that's when the tremolo picking stops. And we're going to go up to the 19th on the B. I'm going to pick that twice, and then a third time, and then go to the 21st, 19th, 21st, 19th. So we alternate. I think it's 3 times. So it's like that, and then we're going to change up to the E. And we're going to play, it starts on the 14th fret, and then the 16th fret, 17th, bend it, 14th, no, 16th, 14th, 16th, then back to the 14th. So it's just like those verses. And we're going to play that 3 times, and the last time it's going to go without that second bend. Okay, so it's okay. So all in all, the solo, both tremolo and non-tremolo picked parts, are going to go like this. And that's the solo. Okay then, so the last thing, the outro, it's going to be the same shapes as the choruses, but the difference is that they don't actually sing at this point in the song. He's kind of screaming using his falsetto that they use a lot in their music, you know, belting out some scream at the end of the song. And what we're going to do is we're just going to play the open chords for the first time round. So we're just going to go like that, just play each individual string, starting at the A, the 5th, and then we're going to start the 5th again with that second chord, play the A and the D open, and then those other 3 strings, and 3rd, back to that other 3rd chord, shape. You can look back if you've forgotten the shapes to earlier in the video, and then finally. Okay, so that happens the first time while he's screaming, and the second time when he really gets really high and it really all builds up to the end of the song, we're just going to keep strumming it again, like instead of just like we were before, and just like the second and third choruses, just keep strumming it, and then we're just going to end on that first shape of the chorus, that first shape we learned, and you now know how to play Showbiz. So we've now learned the full song, and I hope you enjoy playing what we've learnt today, and thank you for the first tutorial.